Welcome, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we will be reviewing Doom Eternal on the Nintendo Switch. We'll go over a few asked questions, like the way it performs, is it worth buying it on the Nintendo Switch, and my personal opinion, alongside a few pros and cons, and the things the Nintendo Switch adds to Doom Eternal. I may stress this is not a review of the game itself, the story, or any other stuff about the game. This is a review of the Switch version, and should you buy it or not, and is it good or bad. Now, without further ado, let us enter the review. First of all, let's begin with the question everybody and their mother has been asking. What frames per second does the game run at? Well, I'm proud to say it does actually run at 30 frames per second, and it is consistent at that. Combat. I've never seen the game drop frames during combat or outside of it, even when rendering giant creatures and demons and buildings and anything else that is giant in this game. There are a few giant things in this game, Jesus Christ. They can render them pretty good. Yes, it is a noticeable downgrade from the PC version, which I'll be mainly comparing it to for the sake of this. From 60 frames per second to 30 frames per second is a noticeable change, but it's a fair one. And the game doesn't run all that bad on 30 FPS, in my opinion. Now, yes, there are a few differences. That of being the game feels a little bit clunky, but it is nothing that a little bit of playtime can fix. Another famously asked question about Doom Eternal on the Nintendo Switch is whether or not the graphics are good. Well, I can say for a fact the game looks fabulous, even on the Nintendo Switch version. Well, yes, the graphics have taken a bit of a hit, along with the resolution, but it is nothing to cry about. The Doom Eternal Nintendo Switch version remains faithful to any other version and looks great as always. Doom has always looked great and will forever be, no matter what device it is on. Well, yes, there are some noticeable differences, mainly in post-development, mainly the post-development stuff and the lightning effects that have been they basically disappeared, but we don't really talk about that. But if you're looking for a very good looking Doom Eternal, I would suggest you get the PS4, Xbox, or PC version of the game. But if you only care about gameplay, I think Switch version is a pretty good version for that. Now, let's talk about what the Nintendo Switch adds and what it has to take away. One of the most welcome additions to the Nintendo Switch version of Doom Eternal is the gyro controls, which, to anybody who doesn't know what gyro controls is basically you move your controller and that's how you aim in the game. It's sort of a VR kind of style of playing the game. And I can safely say that it's a pretty great way of playing the game. I myself have only played the first level using gyro controls, and I found it pretty enjoyable. Now, I have heard experiences from other people who have also played the Nintendo Switch version of Doom Eternal with gyro controls, and they absolutely love it. The people in questions are a few of the members of the Doom on Nintendo Switch Discord server, which I'll be linking down below if you'd like to join our discussions, game nights, or anything else for that matter. We're a small community of Nintendo Switch players who would like to have people join in. But I can safely say that the gyro controls are a great addition to Doom Eternal. Besides the gyro controls, Doom Eternal on the Switch doesn't include much of anything else. Yes, it does include being able to play Doom Eternal in a handheld version. That is beyond anything imaginable. The game looks great, the game runs great, and it can run in your hands while you're driving a car. Well, you're not driving the car, but you will be in a car maybe, a trip or something like that. That is beyond anything I could say. Doom Eternal can run in your hands as opposed to on a TV, and there's no differences. The only difference between having it on a TV and a handheld is the small resolution drop, but I doubt you really care about that. On the Nintendo Switch doesn't take anything out of the game, like missions, modes, game modes, or the online mode. It doesn't take any of that out. Neither does it take out any of the outfits or events or any of the customizable options for the demons or the slayer. Finally, reaching a bit of a conclusion, in my own opinion, Doom Eternal on the Switch is a great version of Doom Eternal. It is the only version I've played, personally, and it holds up pretty well from what I've seen on YouTube videos and other people playing it. I don't really have any problems with the Nintendo Switch version, and I think it's a must buy in my opinion. It is a great version, I enjoyed it a lot, and I'm ready to start a new save file on an even harder difficulty. If anybody's wondering, I completed the game initially on Hurt Me Plenty with a Pro Controller, and I've only used gyros on the initial mission. Hell on Earth. If anybody would like to know my sensitivity, it was 100 for vertical, 100 for horizontal sensitivity, and I used 90% look smoothing. And I think the game was pretty great. The game on the Nintendo Switch is great, in my opinion. And I'm happy to say that Doom Eternal gets 9 super shotguns out of 9.